In just the first 3 seconds, people already form an impression of your style and presence before you even say a word. And here's the surprising part. Sometimes, it's the smallest things, your makeup, your choice of accessories, even how you care for your nails, that can quietly make you look less polished than you really are. Looking stylish in your 50s or 60s isn't about trying to look younger. It's about the art of refinement, being selective, intentional, and letting your confidence shine from within. But here's the reality. A lot of smart, stylish women unintentionally fall into small habits that slowly chip away at their elegance. Not because they don't care about how they look, far from it. It's because today's trends often push us to stand out, rather than to stand elegantly. So today, let's go through 10 common habits that might be subtly taking away from your sophisticated image. And more importantly, I'll share simple, smart fixes based on my real experiences working with some of the most effortlessly stylish women over 50 I've ever met. Let's get started. Habit 1. Overdoing false lashes or heavy mascara. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes, and instead of noticing their expression, all you could see were the lashes? The problem isn't the eyes, it's how they're being framed. In the world of style, the eyes are where we start. They reflect your experience, your energy, your presence. But when lashes are too long, too thick, or too dramatic, they can overpower that natural beauty. What should feel open and elegant suddenly looks closed off, almost like you're hiding behind the makeup. From my experience, I once worked with a 58-year-old client who had the most soulful, calm eyes. But at her first fitting, she arrived with ultra-thick false lashes and sharp black liner. The result? People didn't see her, they saw the makeup. After a little adjustment, a light, clean mascara and her natural lashes gently curled, her eyes reappeared. So did her quiet confidence. My tip: look for mascaras with a slim brush that build volume gradually. It gives you fullness without clumps, and lets your lashes stay soft and natural. If you prefer extensions, go for styles that are airy, delicate, and just slightly longer than your natural lashes. Something that whispers, not shouts. Why this matters: the eyes are where people connect with you. If lashes are too bold or distracting, that connection gets lost. And when that happens, everything else, your outfit, your energy, even your words can feel muted. What you should remember: the right makeup doesn't hide your age, it honors it. Soft, clean lashes let your eyes shine, and you shine clearly and confidently at any stage of life. And here's the thing. This idea of more is better doesn't just affect your lashes. It also sneaks into another part of the face where many women invest a lot of effort: your lips. Let's move on to habit 2, where we'll talk about why thick lip gloss and heavy lip liner might be making your look feel less refined, even when everything else is done right. Let's keep going. Habit 2, overly glossy lips and harsh lip liner. What's supposed to look polished ends up looking artificial. Some lips make people want to lean in and listen. Others make them want to look away. One of the most common mistakes I see among women over 50 is wearing overly shiny lipstick with sharply defined lip liner, often inspired by social media trends. But instead of looking refined, the result can feel off. From a personal styling perspective, when I style clients, the lips are like the final punctuation mark. They help balance the whole face. But when lip liner is too dark or the gloss too thick and glassy, the mouth dominates. The harmony is lost. What was meant to look soft and elegant starts to feel overdone, or even theatrical. A real example: I once worked with a client preparing for a high-profile social event. She had naturally full lips, but always outlined them in a deep, contrasting color, then layered on thick, purple-toned gloss. The rest of her look was beautifully understated, but the lips made everything feel heavy. We switched to a satin berry lipstick, one that matched her natural lip tone, just a touch deeper. I softened the liner and blended it gently toward the center. Suddenly, her whole look came together. She didn't just look younger, she looked like herself again. People noticed her smile, not her lip product. My pro tips: choose lip shades close to your natural lip tone. Half a shade deeper is often just right for subtle fullness. Skip the ultra-glossy finish. Try a satin lipstick or tinted balm with a soft sheen. It brings life to your face without being sticky or loud. When lining your lips, follow your natural shape and blend the edges slightly inward. This keeps the definition but avoids the drawn-on look. Here's what really makes a difference. True beauty isn't about making your lips the center of attention. It's about creating harmony, where every feature supports the other and nothing fights for the spotlight. And just like lips, your skin, especially your foundation, can either elevate your entire look or quietly work against it. So next, let's talk about habit 3. Wearing foundation that's too thick or the wrong shade, and why using less might actually help you look more radiant. Habit 3. Heavy, mismatched foundation, when coverage takes away from real beauty. The more you try to cover, the more it shows. Heavy foundation doesn't hide age, it hides your natural glow. A lot of women over 50 rely on full coverage foundation to mask dark circles, age spots, or uneven texture. But ironically, too much product can leave the face looking flat, lifeless, and less like you. From a styling perspective, at this age, skin needs to breathe. It needs light and softness, not layers that mask its natural tone. When foundation is too heavy, or too light or orange for your skin tone, it creates a disconnect. You lose the natural shading and transitions that make the face feel alive, and the result often looks stiff or even artificial. Real client moment. One client came to me for help with professional headshots. She used a full layer of foundation across her entire face, in a shade about 1.5 tones lighter than her neck. Under studio lights, her face and neck looked like they belonged to two different people. We started over with a sheer, skin-matching base. I only applied coverage where it was truly needed, under the eyes, around the nose. The rest of her skin, left bare, just dusted with mineral powder. The result was fresh, even, and most importantly, real. Her skin looked healthy, not hidden. Simple guidelines that work. Always test foundation in natural light, not under bathroom or vanity lights. Don't try to even out the entire face. Focus on areas that need coverage and let the healthy parts breathe. Skip matte formulas and go for a radiant, dewy finish. Serum foundations, cushions, or tinted moisturizers with a subtle glow work wonders for mature skin. Pro tip from the industry. In fashion and editorial shoots with women over 50, makeup artists often mix foundation with moisturizer or a facial oil to keep the skin looking supple, not masked. It's a trick that works beautifully for real life, too. Here's what I always remind my clients. Fine lines aren't the problem, thick foundation is. The lighter your hand, the more elegant the result. Don't erase time, embrace it softly. And speaking of softness, one feature that often gets unintentionally sharpened is the brows. In the next part, we'll dive into habit 4, overly sculpted, harsh brows that clash with the rest of your face, and what to do instead for a naturally lifted, harmonious look. Let's keep going. Habit 4, overly sharp or lifted brows, when brows make the face look harsh instead of soft. A beautiful brow shouldn't be the first thing people notice. It should quietly support your entire expression. Brows frame the face, but for many women over 50, they've unintentionally become a distraction. I've worked with countless women who had gentle, graceful energy, yet because their brows were too arched, too brushed up, or drawn in sharply, their whole face appeared more severe than they intended. And if the color is too dark or clashes with their hair, the brows start to overpower everything else. From my styling experience, your brows shouldn't be a statement, they should be a balance. A natural shape with a soft tail and gentle gradient from start to arch creates a calm, approachable look. It brings softness back to the face and makes you instantly more relatable. Real-life story. I recently worked with a client in her early 60s. She had beautifully deep-set eyes, but often felt she looked angry in photos. Why? Her brows were brushed sharply upward, had a dramatic peak, and were drawn in black. We softened the shape by following her natural arch, trimmed just a bit, and used a cool ash brown instead. No more harsh lifts, just structure and subtle shading. Suddenly, her whole face relaxed. People didn't just say she looked younger, they said she looked kind. Try these subtle adjustments. If your hair is dark, go 1-2 shades lighter for your brows. If your hair is gray or silver, go slightly deeper, but never jet black. Skip the overly arched or drawn-on shapes. These tend to age the face and create a harsh outline. Use a brow pencil or powder to lightly fill in sparse areas. Always follow the natural direction of the hair. Avoid filling the whole brow like a tattoo. A little insider tip: if your brows are thin, consider a soft tint or a tinted brow gel instead of layering stiff gels or following online trends like laminated or soap brows. What works on a 20-something influencer won't always work on a woman with your grace and presence. And here's the bottom line: the best brows are the ones that feel like you, not the trend of the moment. And just like brows can quietly reshape your entire expression, there's another detail that speaks volumes, without saying a word: your hands. In the next section, we'll look at Habit 5. Overly long, flashy, or sharp nails, when a small detail overpowers the whole look. Mini hook: your hands say a lot about your style, your personality, and even how well you take care of yourself, long before you ever speak a word. In personal image consulting, I often tell clients, if you're not sure where to begin, look at your hands. From the way you shake hands, hold a glass, or open your handbag, your hands reflect your poise. And your nails. They're one of the smallest details, but they can either enhance your elegance or completely distract from it. Common mistakes I see in women over 50. Nails that are too long, sharply pointed stiletto, or overly square. Loud colors like neon orange, electric green, bright yellow, or glittery purple. Excessive nail art: rhinestones, stickers, cartoon designs, or overly ornate patterns. Or on the flip side, bare nails that are chipped, dry, or cracked at the cuticles. A memorable example. I once consulted with a woman in her mid-60s. She had a beautifully elegant style: silk blazer, vintage leather bag, everything intentional. But when she extended her hand, her nails were long, matte black, and decorated with tiny rhinestone skulls. The styling team paused, because it completely clashed with the rest of her look. It felt like she was trying to express boldness, but in a way that no longer aligned with her current stage of life. The nails spoke louder than her outfit, her energy, even her smile. My practical advice: stick to soft, flattering nail shapes like oval or almond. They suit most mature hands. Choose neutral tones: nude, rosewood, soft beige, wine red, or even just a clear, glossy coat. If you enjoy a little flair, try a subtle shimmer or minimalist accent nail, just enough to show personality without losing sophistication. And no, you don't need weekly salon visits. Just trim regularly, keep hands moisturized, and reapply a top coat when needed. A well-groomed hand speaks volumes. In fashion, there's a saying we live by: less drama, more depth. Nails are the finishing touch to your hands, and hands are often the beginning of human connection. So don't let something as small as your manicure pull you out of sync with the elegance you already carry. And when we talk about subtle details that leave a lasting impression, there's one element that's invisible but unforgettable: your scent. Up next, let's explore Habit 6. Overpowering perfume, when sweet scents feel more like overcompensation than elegance. Some women leave behind a gentle, lingering scent that draws you in. Others leave you instinctively stepping back the moment they enter the room. Fragrance is often called a woman's invisible signature. But by the time we reach our 50s, not every scent suits us the way it once did, especially those overly sweet, candy-like perfumes or youthful body mists that mimic cupcakes and cotton candy. The truth is, scent should tell a story, and like all good stories, it needs depth, subtlety, and grace. Single-note sugary scents often signal youth or worse, immaturity. Meanwhile, softer compositions, those with base notes like musk, powder, light woods, or white florals, leave behind a feeling that's warm, refined, and quietly magnetic. One of my clients used to love sweet, girlish fragrances. But after an evening gala, Someone politely mentioned that her scent reminded them of a teenager's perfume counter. That gentle comment changed everything. We found her a new signature, a soft iris blend with clean musk. Same outfit, same woman, but suddenly she felt elevated, more aligned with the grace she already carried. The key isn't to wear more fragrance, it's to wear it more thoughtfully. A touch on the wrists, behind the ears, or spritzed lightly into the air before you walk through it creates a veil, not a cloud. And if you use scented lotions or oils, keep layering to a minimum. Your scent should invite people in, not linger long after you've left the room. And just like fragrance, jewelry can either elevate your presence or quietly work against it. Habit 7. Tarnished, flashy, or cheap-looking jewelry, when shine doesn't mean style. Beautiful jewelry doesn't shout. It whispers with intention. Jewelry is the punctuation at the end of an outfit. But when a pair of earrings is discolored, or a bracelet leaves green marks on your wrist, suddenly, even the most polished look can feel unfinished, or worse, unrefined. I always remind my clients that a delicate gold band or a pair of classic pearl studs carries more weight and more style than a dozen chunky, plastic bracelets that happen to be on trend. One woman I worked with asked why her outfits never looked quite expensive, even when they were. The answer wasn't the clothes, it was the accessories. She had a habit of wearing oversized statement pieces that were either dull, peeling, or out of sync with her outfit's tone. Once we swapped those out for a few clean, high-quality basics, a fine chain, simple hoops, a polished cuff, everything changed. She didn't look trendier, she looked timeless. You don't need a jewelry box full of diamonds. What you need are a few well-chosen pieces that age well just like you. And don't forget maintenance. Clean them regularly, store them properly, and let your jewelry speak to your care, not your chaos. And while jewelry is a small visible detail, there's one even smaller, often overlooked area that speaks volumes: your clothing's fabric. Habit 8. Worn out, fuzzy, or pet-haired clothing, when fabric neglect undermines your style. You can wear a $40 sweater and look like $1,000,000 if the fabric is cared for. And you can wear designer from head to toe, but if it's covered in fuzz, wrinkles, or pet hair, the elegance disappears instantly. One of my clients loved her cozy cardigans, but wore the same one nearly every day. Over time, the sleeves and hem were pilled and fuzzy. Even though the outfit was color-coordinated and stylish, the overall impression was sloppy. Fabric care doesn't have to be hard. Keep a lint roller by the door. Use a fabric shaver every couple of weeks on your knits. Wash delicate items inside out. And hang or gently steam your clothing to avoid unnecessary creases. Style isn't always about what you wear, it's about how you take care of it. And nothing says, "I value myself," more than attention to the small things. And speaking of small things, there's one habit that tries too hard to look put together and ends up doing the opposite. Habit 9. Overstyled hair, when perfect, becomes the opposite of natural. Great hair moves with you. It doesn't stay stiff like a helmet. I've seen women with beautifully structured faces, but hair so heavily sprayed, curled, or styled that it looked frozen in time, like they were headed to a wedding every day. The intention is understandable. We want to look polished. But when your hair looks like it can't move, it makes you look like you can't relax. And that tension shows, whether you realize it or not. Instead, choose styles that reflect who you are: graceful, soft, lived in. A softly layered bob, a relaxed bun, or even a natural shoulder-length style with gentle waves can look far more elegant than a high-maintenance blowout. Focus on hair health, shine, softness, movement, not just structure. A beautiful hairstyle should move when you do and return to place when you settle. And now, we've come to the final piece. One that isn't visible but is felt in every room you walk into. Habit 10. The energy of seeking approval, when you dim your light for validation. You can wear the most flattering outfit, perfect your makeup, and style your hair beautifully. But if you walk into a room constantly adjusting, second-guessing, or shrinking your presence, none of it will land. I've met women whose wardrobe wasn't remarkable, yet all eyes turned when they entered the room. Why? Because they own their space. They weren't looking for permission. They were simply being themselves. Elegance isn't in the effort to prove yourself, it's in the quiet confidence of knowing you don't have to. Slow down. Don't apologize for taking up space. Don't shrink your smile or soften your voice just to seem appropriate. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to feel at peace with your imperfections, and that is true sophistication. At 50, 60, and beyond, you're not here to keep up with anyone. You're here to return to your